seriously hate the title I use, but it made sense. I haven't seen anything yet. You give it a minute. Give it a minute. Yeah.
Ooh.
I know! I'm not the best at puns like the rest of you.
Well, at least you guys can say something.
I'm not even the best. I'm not even the best pun master. That goes to Hugo. I gotta hand it to him. That one time after I
Hey! Spoilers!
Oh, come on! It's just a pun no one will understand. Unless they knew about it.
Okay. Sorry, it's just, I'm very... Anyways.
Like, now people will think there is no spoilers hidden in my joke now.
Sorry, Instinct.
Yeah.
Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome back to PowerWash Simulator, the Spongebob special.
Spongebob.
Yeah, last time I was a giggly mess because of all the SpongeBob talk we were doing and the fact that they used the funniest noises when moving the scaffolding in the game. Okay. As we were cleaning up, let's see here. As we cleaned up Conch Street where Patrick, Squidward, and SpongeBob lived, the Bikini Bottom Buzz after Squidward had an incident while practicing his jokes, and both the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket because Plankton and Mr. Krabs had themselves a bit of a disagreement, to put it lightly.
But apparently there is something going around Bikini Bottom making a mess of things.
Yep. So now we are starting off nice and small and cleaning up the paddy wagon. And of course, like always, I am here with the eccentric Mr. Chaos, who's better at puns than I am.
Indeed, especially when they don't get interrupted.
Sorry. And of course, the always fearsome Linkzilla.
I am here for the SpongeBob jokes.
Yep. Alrighty. Now. Oh, it's from SpongeBob. Oh, jeez. Fish paste. The muck spreader struck again last night. This time it's hit Mr. Krabs' paddy wagon. No one's seen a filthy hopper anywhere. It looks like we're back to square one. My friend Sandy Cheeks is coming over to help me investigate. She's the smartest aquanautic squirrel I know. Together we'll get to the bottom of this. Let's split up. We'll search for clues in the dirt while you wash it all away with your shouty water cannon. Oh.
Mr. Krabs uses it for promotional means.
Gotta admit though, the paddy wagon, that is just like the cutest name for a car that looks like a hamburger.
Yep.
Alright, as always, going to open up the co-op and get Chaos here to help me out, because even though this is a small job, there's bound to be big jobs to come.
So what'll it be, fellas? Ketchup or mustard? Are those guys laughing at us? No, Patrick, they're laughing next to us.
Alrighty. Oh. Here we go.
We'll show you. Out of the car, fellas. How long has it been?
There we go. And once again, we look like funny little fish. Okay, you're free to spray me for interrupting your joke.
That comes later.
Okay.
Within a month later.
Holy mackerel! SpongeBob says things were messy, but this year's muckier than a mad moose in a march.
Always remember, gang, you don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
Anyhow, don't mind me. I'm just gonna quietly go about my detecting business. Okay, Sandy.
I really do wonder if
We're
the
hoping
dirty
to
bubble
find the
is
three
behind this.
mismeans motives of and opportunity.
Under the hood, fry, double overhead fry injection manifold.
But first, the crime itself. Seriously, this runs on a French fry fryer? Let's say some kind of spontaneous certification. Okay. None of the surroundings are affected, just as the wagon itself, exactly like a conch treat, the Krusty Krab, and the chum bucket. Okay.
Maybe the dirty bubble is behind this.
Okay, I'm getting the footstool. There we go.
I love how for the wheels it just says pickles cleaned.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
It's almost like they've been repeatedly pecked at by some mysterious hostile beast of the deep. Oh, I think we figured out that little problem. Whatever this almighty one has a mouth on its hands, or should I say its face. Okay. Or faces. I have a feeling we finally figured out the whole something for later on.
Got it. We're gonna go into the bullworm and clean it.
Oh, jeez. Now that's kind of gross.
To go.
Yep. After all, it is fast food, after all.
Yeah. So in
Maybe
this case, taken quite literal.
Maybe we should get the boatmobile from that episode where Mrs. Puff passes SpongeBob just to
Could
get
it be
rid
the
of him.
Plankton Army? No, I don't think so. Plankton had no idea about this. Oh. But Plankton's only interested in the secret Krabby Patty formula. Yep. Is there anyone or anything who could have vendetta against so many people? Okay, I think I finally got the entire engine all cleaned up. Yes, I do. Alright, now to clean up the hood. There, all done.
Did you also clean the inside of the hood?
Yep, the engine bay is all done. Only one person who has got the viciousness, the speed, the guile, and the diameter to do such thing. It's got to be... Yes?
Come on, Sandy, say it.
Oh no, they already got to her.
Sandy? You're just
He
only...
already got to her.
No, I think she's just being way too dramatic. Wait a minute, I need to recharge my device.
Meow. What do you mean, overly dramatic, Gary?
So she couldn't tell us because her phone needs charging.
And yet she was still able to completely type that message. But yeah, it'd be great if we could get a level with the boatmobile from the episode where Mrs. Puff passes Spongebob. That way we could have the license plate that says, I am ready.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, you sprayed me.
Well, still go down to Clade.
Now that area is all done.
I know. Figured I'd just double check just to be sure.
Hey, jellyfish.
Alright, patty's clean. Now it's just the rest of this lettuce. And the bottom bun. Okay, lettuce is done.
Anything else?
Spots on the wide screen here.
What?
The gear stick is nothing more than a soda cup.
I hate it when it's at 99%, but it won't tell us what else is specifically
Grilled
done.
seats.
Ah, there we go. Still not done yet. What the hell? There we go. "99% doesn't feel like 99% to me.
Alright, let me see here. Brake lights. Spatula, steering wheel, and throttle. And the engine pumps. There it is. I'm guessing the engine pump is still under here. Yeah. There's a little devil. There we go.
Alrighty.
For something so small, that was a pain in the butt.
Yep, but now it looks good enough to eat.
Alright, let's get moving.
Okay.
We're using this to get to our next job.
Jumping jellyfish, that's a patty winning, you know, right? And by the way, did Sandy tell you that she's a cracked the case? We're calling him Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They're the only ones who can stop the grubby fiend.
Pay dirt. Told you.
That's right. Hang on. gotta clean out the invisible boatmobile. There we go. Oh my god! Oh, Rick!
Well, let's go, gang.
But evil! But it's not a foot, amigo. It's a bubble. A dirty, dirty bubble. And he's been painting the whole town brown. We tracked it to field fishes. No, wait. The jellyfish fields. But he's cornered us. And I didn't think a round thing could do that. Finally, he sucked us in with his awesome surface tension. We managed to pry our way out with Barnacle Boy's rough rock-eating tongue, but the invisible boatmobile is a wreck. It's covered with every type of gunk you can find in all you can eat if you were a clam. Barnacle Boy says that you have some kind of squirter that you pressured to working for you. I respect that.
Rest in peace, fellas.
What do you mean by
supposed to be invisible?
Yeah. Well, we figured out jellyfish fields.
Mermaid Man. Yes, Barnacle Boy? We're not in the invisible boatmobile, are we? Nope.
And, there's the jellyfish jelly.
Well, gang, time to clean up the invisible boatmobile.
Sandy Chicks was right.
It.
We gave chase to the dirty bubble, hightailing it away from the paddy
Oh
wag with a
God.
big filthy grin on its. Oh my freaking god! You got another kind of grin. We're actually making it invisible again.
Well, I don't think we need to put on that feature that tells us what we're missing. Not too much, anyway.
No! Because I know the term when you see something you want to unsee it, but this is taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, just be careful cleaning up the back end. We don't want any of you guys getting burned by the tailpipe.
Don't you worry, kiddo. We're going to wipe the big dirty grin clean off that dirty bubble.
I hope not. I'd be out of a job if you guys do that. I mean, nothing.
Just as soon as we wipe down our shoes, the mud's deep here, and I don't like it one bit. Oh, no. Boy, the guys back in Muckingham is not going to believe this one, right?
Heck, I still don't believe the fact that you turned into a fish.
It's all disguise.
We spotted him bobbing evilly north. Oh, wow, that's a lot we cleaned up in one go.
Oh, north? I thought you said north.
Wait a minute,
North.
do you realize what's north of here? Uh-oh. I have no sense of direction! Well, you heard it here, folks! Mermaid Man has no sense of direction!
Well, he's like 68 years old.
Barnacle
at this
Boy
point.
that says that due north is the Goo. Why do I have a feeling we're going to be cleaning up their place next?
We're the real superhero that this place needs.
Yep.
Well,
I don't
certainly not
care
the ones they
who's due
deserve.
to what. What? If the dirty bobble makes it as far as we can kiss goodbye to at least 7 colors of the rainbow. Oh boy. All the jellyfish are really testing our supply of antihistamines. Oh boy. And Mermaid Man already has a rash from being inside the dirty bubble.
Radical boy, I need you to apply the ointment for me, son.
We're having to apply a real pharmaceutical matrix out here. Jeez. We got this thing cleaned up so much, I can actually see you working.
Yep. It's completely gone. It's a good thing that those tire treads are there, otherwise I don't think they'd be able to find it. Then again, they do have the invisible car alarm. That was such a funny gag. And the fact that it looks like an actual car. Thank goodness for invisible seatbelts. Wait, I don't have a license. Well, this is an invisible boat, right? So you need an invisible license. What could there possibly be?
Well, thankfully I have a way of making things visible.
Windscreen. It's the windscreen in the side hull. Dun, dun, dun,
And look!
dun.
It's faint, but you can actually see things when I highlight it. Let's see here. So we have our own way of making invisible things visible. Ah, there's the brake light. Ah, there it is. There we go. Alrighty, side hull, stern, and wheel.
I don't even know what the frick the wheel is.
I know! Ah, there it is, it's all underneath. Oh, you found the wheel. Now we just need the stern.
The hell is the stern on here?
It's the back of the boat.
Backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up.
It's time to come out of retirement. There's evil afoot. Evil, evil. Where is it?
Got it!
There it is.
Oh, look, they outline it for us. Thank God.
You know what this means, don't you? Wow,
Oh.
that's cool.
Trying to get to our next destination now.
Alright.
Say the oath. Money, man, and barnacle boy, unite!
Okay, by the sleep of Neptune, you done it. The invisible boatmobile looks fantastic, I assume. But it's so good to not see it again. Now, get a load of the news. It'll blow your fins off. We finally apprehended the dirty bubble. We caught him in the act of evil! Open-mouthed he was, and inches away from Goo Lagoon. Can you imagine? I can't. We have no visual imagination. But when you get inside the mind of a criminal, you don't need it. You can guess her every move. And we got inside more than his mind. We got inside his very being. We're headed off to the mermaid lair now, where we can safely incarcerated.
Tartar-serated.
Turn to mermaid lair, barnacle boy. Oh boy.
They're gonna freeze him in frozen tartar sauce like they did Man Ray. He can be safely in tartar-serated.
Oh boy.
The Mermalair! We're doing the Mermalair!
Yep.
I'm gonna play with the Cosmic Way! I get the Aqua Glove! Oh man, if we find Man Ray, if Man Ray is in here and he's frozen in tartar sauce, I'm gonna lose it!
Oh boy. Oh boy. Welcome, friends, to the elusive prison of Bangor. No, wait, I mean the mermaid lair. I live here, don't I? And guess what? The dirty, dirty bubble has struck again, this time within our very walls. Don't ask me how but he escaped, ran around, dirtied out the place before, quick as night, sneaking back into his impenetrable hole, from which escape is impossible. And look what he's done to the place. He made a whole 9 yards look like a festering nest of negligence. And for what? Revenge? I'd like to see him try. Do something, kid, before we descend into a pit of self-loathing and crime in Bikini Bottom spirals out of control. Don't forget those nooks and crannies. Crime flourishes where angelfish fear to dredge.
That guy over there used to be the atomic flounder. I know
Yeah.
he doesn't look like much, but he could go back to crime just like that. I help somebody there. You're under arrest, atomic flounder.
Well, at least we don't have to clean it. Oh my god!
I can't wait to see it. Oh man.
This doesn't look like the work of the Dirty Bubble to me. Yeah, I think they didn't clean up the place in quite a while.
Surprised I didn't ask.
Looks like
SpongeBob
years
to help.
of persistent dirt and inefficient cleaning techniques.
And
Nice.
SpongeBob knows all about technique.
Oh look, I found a picture of them in their younger days. So they're using the Dirty Bubble as an excuse to say, yeah, we didn't clean up the place in a while. Could you give it a bit of a hose down, please?
It would be great if you cleaned off the computer monitor and there was video footage of the chief up there.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey.
my god, it's the Orb of Confusion! So many good memories of that show. Prolonged exposure to the Orb of Confusion will give you confusion!
I think that's probably what happened to Mermaid Man's poor mind.
Nah, that's just dementia.
Oh yeah, that too.
The wall of gadgetry? Oh man, if they actually have the aqua glove up there.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna do it!
She's gonna
If you guys didn't hear that, it made a noise.
Not so fast, Archvillain. We still have the Orb of Confusion. Take this! Well, that was easy.
Alrighty, let's see here.
I wonder if we could find the tickle belt that Mermaid Man used on Man Ray in episode 17.
Well, I found the balls of steel.
By the way, come to me.
Hmm?
Look what I found.
I really hope that it's something dramatic.
Oh, it's the Dirty Bubble!
So, this is where they're keeping him, huh?
Yep.
Well, I was kind of hoping that Man Ray would be back there.
And look at these outfits.
Patrick, what are you?
Man Ray! Ah! The costumes of the secret justice log of super acquaintances. Gosh, I didn't know superpowers worked that way. Of course, power's all in the costume. Why do you think we run around in colored undies? I can think of 3 pretty good reasons. The Secret Justice Lodge of Super Acquaintances! The Quickster! With the ability to run very quick! Wanna see me run to that mountain and back? Wanna see me do it again? Captain Magma! When he gets an explosive temper, look out! Krakatoa!
Yeah, what exactly? Barnacle shells, algae, mayo? Ew!
Mayo? What the heck were they doing?
I have no idea. But yeah, gross.
Are you sure you want me to have this mayonnaise? And this stack of old phone books?
Okay, let's see here. No, little too long. There we go. I'm so glad they made a lot of these things like kind of interactive because it makes things so much easier to get behind things.
Yep.
Oh, I could turn this on. Let's see.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Well, it's not video of the chief, but
Dun, 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 dun. It'd be cool if they had the conch signal on display down here.
yeah.
If I want retired, I'd do that. Out of my way, punk.
Yeah. Hey, House, look at this.
I saw. I was right behind you.
Nice. Whoop. Fell off. Okay, that's getting a little disorienting. There we go. Maybe that explains why there's ladders. Hang on. Oh wow, this monitor is like really thick.
Extra thick?
Yeah, what's that all the way back there?
I wonder. Oh good, I can go up from this side.
Hey, Spongebob, what's that burning smell? That, Patrick, is the smell of defeat. Oh, good, I thought it was my skin. Forget about your skin, Pat. Man Ray is still bad, and we've got to stop him. Forget about your skin, Pat.
Do. And if, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Sorry for any blue screen of annoyances, but of course, let's see here.
Number 1, you see someone drop their wallet. Patrick dropped the wallet. What do? Excuse me, sir. I believe you've dropped your wallet. Doesn't look familiar to me. Oh, but I just saw you drop it. Here. Nope. Not my wallet. It is yours. I'm trying to be a good person and return it to you. Return what to who? Psh! Aren't you Patrick Starr? Yep. And this is your ID. Yep. I found this ID in this wallet. So if that's the case, then this must be your wallet. Makes sense to me.
I was trying to, like, sorry for interrupting, but I was trying to say that if you listen faintly, you can actually hear, like, more device sounds from the monitor.
Wow.
Yep, all sorts of beeps. Oh, and now I'm gonna tone down the party button. Turn down the game. There we go. Yeah, sorry about the constant blue screens of annoyances, everyone. Alright. Let's get this monitor case all cleaned up. Now there's like a lot of rust and things under here. They really need to like find a way of like, I don't know, hiring a special maid or something.
Yep, because Between the fact that they're like 70, 80 years old, they're certainly not going to do it themselves.
Yep. And the only reason why...
Counterpoint, what do you think we are in this scenario?
True, but I meant like constant, like daily.
I mean, ordinarily they'd probably get Spongebob to do it, and he'd probably do it for either very cheap or very free, but they're worried about him touching all the stuff in here.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the fact that they even let him and Patrick watch the Mermalair while they were on vacation seemed more like an act of desperation.
Yeah, they're technically supposed to be retired, but then, of course, SpongeBob ended up getting that conch.
Nah, that's not what happened. It's that SpongeBob and Patrick found out from Squidward that they live at the retirement home. They kept trying to convince them to come out of retirement, trying to basically stage fake crimes in order to get them to come out of retirement. And Barnacle Boy just got so fed up with them haranguing them all the time that they basically came out of retirement to combat the evil that is SpongeBob and Patrick.
Oh, jeez.
The conch shell was, I think, yeah, that was probably Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy too.
Ah.
The conch signal!
Jeez. Nothing lasts forever, SpongeBob. Let the poor dudes retire.
Sea creatures unite! It seems that the creatures of the deep seem to have lost some of their luster.
Ironically enough, though the whole bit with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is probably a lot more respectful to them than the latest Indiana Jones movie is to Indiana Jones himself.
Yep.
Please don't let me get into that. I swear, whoever's in charge of Lucasfilms now just wants to insert herself into everything to make her to boost up her ego.
Huh. I didn't know that you were paying attention.
Mainly because of me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And yet, I'm actually going to be stupid enough to go see it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, just remember that that's pretty much going to be a drop in the ocean. It's not going to change what apparently is going on at Disney as a result of this film.
It's not. I've been hearing some pretty good things, actually. I mean, last week, they basically had like a huge meeting where they pulled in like a whole bunch of Disney execs, which includes Lucasfilm. We all know who she is. So Bob Iger basically is like, he pretty much called this meeting pretty much to call her out, to basically like say, how do you explain the movie not doing well on its opening weeks? And you didn't know what her big response was? Her big response was, how do you explain all the other Disney movies that have been coming out lately not having great opening weekends? She literally basically like tries to deflect and basically start talking about all the other failures that the company has been having.
Yeah.
And then she has the nerve to...
Yeah, sorry, Patrick is interrupting. The costumes of the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances. Oh, jeez. Who would you be, SpongeBob?
The Quickster.
As you were saying, Link.
Well, anyways, what was I saying? And then she has the nerve to go and say that that Lucasfilm, as well as Disney as a whole, is failing because...
Yeah, hold on. I gotta look that back up again.
I'd be the elastic waistband with those stretching powers. Yep. I can finally touch my toes!
Yeah, I could change the channel without finding the remote. Don't ever change, Patrick.
Except for when he kind of did for a few seasons.
Oh, God.
But anyways,
yeah.
She basically had the nerve to say that Bob Iger literally forced all the identity and divisive politics that they've been using at Lucasfilm and Disney for the last 10 years. Yeah, all that stuff that she was completely on board with, now she's saying that he forced it onto her.
Let's see. Where? Oh, yep, nope. I see nothing but pro hockey behind the monitor.
So, basically, the news coming out of that is that Iger was incredibly livid. And apparently there was some kind of emergency meeting that happened yesterday where Iger basically is, like, very upset with her. And the best part about it is we didn't even need somebody to leak this information because Kathleen ended up leaking it herself. She basically went on a rant about how pissed off she is that she got called out for her BS by her boss. So... And here's the best part.
Aside from the fact that she needs more salt for that foot of hers than anything else, what?
The best part about it is that it's gone far beyond just her incompetence at running Lucasfilm. Disney is basically preparing the case of suing her for mismanagement of company funds. As in... Because her little pet... her little pet project in the Star Wars continuity, the Acolyte, basically Disney has put it in no uncertain terms that there's a pin in this project and it's probably not going to see the light of day. They don't want to be focusing on it. They don't want it to be produced. They don't want any resources or funding going to it. And yet, somehow or another, funding from other projects seems to mysteriously disappear and is being funneled into the Acolyte.
Oh, hallelujah! Bring in the choir! She just been caught with her hand in the cookie jar.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Apparently there are 5 rather ghoulish Disney execs that are hovering around Lucasfilm, going through Kathleen Kennedy's emails, trying to find evidence of her doing this, and they're basically making it clear on no uncertain terms that no one is allowed access to her email account until they have what they need, because it could literally be considered as legal interference if anybody else were to tamper with it. So effectively speaking, she's basically screwed up the company for the last 11 years, and now there's a very good, strong indication that she has basically been embezzling funds that were allocated for other projects into a project that she controls that the higher-ups did not want to actually get made. So yeah, if she somehow manages to remain on even after all of this, then she must have some serious dirt on every single one of them that they do not want to get public, which she will literally do if she actually gets the boot.
Yeah, well, taking a hissy fit and doing that is not going to help her image anytime soon. She's only gonna bury herself deeper in all that mess.
I mean, literally speaking, she has no choice but to retire at this point. There's literally no way she will ever have another actual job after this. Like, literally speaking, no other company, no other studio, they're not going to want to touch her after literally any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a meme song fitting for this if she does get the boot.
And what meme song would that be?
Na 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 na. Hey,
Hey,
goodbye. Yep, that one. Take your bets, people. Who wants to see her get the boot and have popcorn watching that? It'll be better than any Lucasfilm mate she ever made since she got the job.
Forget the boot. I'm still waiting for her to be drawn and quartered.
You know what I think is probably the biggest, or not the biggest, but the funniest mess up that actually happened at Lucasfilm?
What?
The Willow show.
Oh my god, the Willow show. I mean, I never really was all that big a fan of Willow. In fact, I didn't even find out about Willow until I started watching James Rolfe on Cinemassacre.com. But it was something that I actually considered checking out one of these days. Then Disney Plus puts out that Willow show, and then I basically hear that they basically did to Willow what they did to Luke, and it's like, yeah, how am I supposed to get invested with a character in the original movie now that I know where he's going to end up? So you see, in a sense, these movies actually can do damage to the legacy, because I've never actually seen the original before, and now I actually feel less inclined to.
There's something here I'm still missing? What the hell?
Is it the front door? Is the front door missing?
No, I'm working on cleaning up the dirty bubbles thing.
Did you get on top of it?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
What?
I've highlighted one of the things. The cables.
Ah, the cable. Alright.
Yeah, there's like quite a bit.
Prison joystick.
The thing that might end up doing some good is that I don't necessarily agree with this phenomenon, but I actually think that it's actually been happening in movies as of late, and if there is one good thing that is going to come out of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, whatever it's called, it's that people are going to start realizing that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull really wasn't as bad as they wanted everybody to think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, the movie isn't necessarily perfect, but it's not the awful garbage pile that people make it out to be. I mean, it's at the very least watchable, and there's literally nothing that happens that's flat out embarrassing for Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that a lot of really awesome things actually happen in the movie.
Well, like for example, he's got a kid.
Well, going beyond that, how many of our heroes can actually say that they survived a nuclear explosion?
With a
Oh yeah,
fridge.
didn't he like say survive in a refrigerator?
Yep. He ended up in some kind of nuclear testing town outside of Roswell, and when he realized what was going on, he climbed into a lead-lined refrigerator and just kind of rode the blast.
Yeah, that I remember from the Lego Indie games.
Oh yeah, I still need to play that. I need to play the second one at least. I wouldn't mind if they actually brought like more Kingdom of the Crystal Skull Lego sets back, considering that they brought the entire Indie line back for the new movie. Need to get at least one of them. I want to get the Lego set that has the new Ark of the Covenant at least. But I want to get another Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set just so I can get my hands on one of those Crystal Skull minifigures. In fact, considering that Lego has those adult creator build Lego sets with like the busts or the helmets of famous characters like superheroes or Star Wars characters, why don't they do a creator build bust of the actual Crystal Skull? Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and you'll have a crystal skull on your desk.
Yep. Apart
Then
from
we
the
just
one
need
that
to
I
turn
use
it
as a
into a cockpit.
Come on. Thank you.
I mean, I don't think I need to turn it into a goblet, because I basically already have a crystal skull that I use as a decanter.
Nice.
Okay.
I fill it with fruit punch, red fruit punch, freaks people out.
Okay, I think I got this all taken care of.
Shout out to you, Overlord DVD. I call my decanter the Skull of Calderon.
Nice.
I mean, here's one of the things that I just really don't... I feel like basically it's an example of people making a mountain out of a molehill, because the CGI in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it's not necessarily the best, but I have definitely seen worse. And yet so many people treat the CGI like it's somehow unforgivable. Like, oh, Steven Spielberg was attached to this movie, therefore the CGI should be of better quality. It's like, what are you guys ultimately thinking of in comparison to that? Like, why is Steven Spielberg associated with better special effects? I mean, you basically you're trying to basically think of Jurassic Park or something, because... hate to tell you this, but the CGI in Jurassic Park, if you stare at it for too long, you start to see where it's basically like not aging well. But that's neither here nor there. They complain about the fact that there are prairie dogs in the beginning of the movie and that they're all CGI, and then of course they complain about the monkeys. It's like, so? The sequence lasts like, I don't know, 10 seconds at most. You're basically like complaining about the entire film over this 10-second moment with monkeys swinging in a tree.
That's got to be one of the dumbest things I ever hear a complain about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, admittedly, I honestly cannot believe it. 2008. It literally feels like it was yesterday. I was in friggin' 8th grade.
Ah, there's the footstool.
I was basically like waiting for that movie to come out, and ever since I saw the trailers and I saw Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones again, and saw the fact that he'd gone gray, he looked older, I'm like thinking, oh man, is he going to be able to actually keep up in this movie? I was worried that he was going to be too old to pull off playing Indy. And the ironic thing is, I'm pretty much the only person in my family that actually left that theater even remotely satisfied with the final product.
A bit of irony there.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was a bit skeptical about the whole idea of the fact that the whole thing with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was that it was aliens, but, I mean, at least it still has that Indiana Jones vibe. Like, here's one of the most ironic things that basically, when I talk with Indiana Jones about my dad, he says the reason that he likes the first movie and probably the third movie more than any of the other Indiana Jones movies is that Indiana Jones goes after something that's actually real in those movies. And he's referring to the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. And so that's basically just my dad's confirmation bias shining through. The whole idea with Indiana Jones, for me, is that he's always gone after these fictional things that have these that have myths, legends surrounding them, that have these supernatural powers to them. And I feel like Crystal Skull fits in with all that, because like that whole thing in South America, crystal skulls, those legends surrounding them, it kind of makes sense. And then you take the whole ancient alien things into account. Well, there's some people who believe that. I don't know if I don't think that basically like it's that they're right or anything, but it's still interesting to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the Dial of Destiny, I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist.
Exactly. It literally feels like the most made-up thing in this entire thing, because, like, I'm pretty sure that with Indiana Jones, my suspension of disbelief is already pretty high. I can believe in a golden box that lets you talk to God, except God wants to kill you every single time you open it. I can believe...
to be fair, based off of what I know of the earlier tales of Christianity, that makes sense.
Yeah, it really does. I can believe in a cup that allows you to live and remain alive for 700 years. I can even believe I can even believe in magical stones that have glowing diamonds inside of them whenever they are brought together. And heck, I can even believe that aliens would be a silicone-based life form that would have a skeleton comprised entirely of crystal. But
Is it wrong? I was kind of hoping for you to just suddenly reference something else unrelated to Indiana Jones, like Power Rangers in a moment.
well, I don't know where you'd get that from, but I think that where I have to draw the line is with time travel, because let's face it, time travel is a huge can of worms that, quite frankly, a lot of series should not be trying to open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
which super acquaintance I would be? Super good question, Patrick.
You'd probably be Miss Appear.
No, this is SpongeBob.
Oh.
You'd probably be Mr. Pier then.
Yeah, I'd be the Quickster, able to travel fast distances at the speed of light. But wait, would I still get tired if I ran into rock bottom under second? Would I then collapse of exhaustion?
When you have super speed, but you don't have super endurance.
If so, I want that.
Now I can't stop thinking about the moment in the episode where they're getting ready to fight Barnacle Boy, the Dirty Bubble, and Man Ray, but they end up literally taking out their own forces. Squidward uses his volcanic eruption, the lava lands on SpongeBob, and SpongeBob starts running around in circles, yelling, "Get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off!" Patrick tries to help him by grabbing him, but his elastic arms get stretched, and then he gets flung all the way out. Mermaid Man tries to cool SpongeBob down with a water ball, but he ends up throwing it at Squidward instead. No, I'm not the Quickster, I'm Captain Mac! Ma. And then Sandy tries to go invisible and sneak up on the bad guys, only to get hit by a car.
Whoops.
And then, of course, by the time it's over, SpongeBob stops running, but the magma has literally melted him all the way down to his ankles. Glad that's over. Oh man, that show.
There we go.
But yeah, going back into the Diet of Destiny, if I remember correctly in regards to how it apparently how it apparently originates from in verse, it's some sort of Greek thing?
I bet. Personally, I'm just betting that it's just a whole bunch of crap that they just made up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just because the Greeks don't really even focus too much in regards to time travel of anything. If I were to come up with, if I had to pick a pantheon to insert some sort of weird time traveling gizmo, I'd probably go with the North pantheon.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what they did in the new God of War anyway. But yeah, especially with the Greeks, the whole idea that, time travel, the Greeks believe in fate, as in, once your destiny has been decided, there is literally nothing that you can do to change it, and literally all your attempts to change it are literally going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask poor Oedipus.
Yep.
Yeah, seriously.
In fact, I actually think that basically, if you're in Greek mythology and you can basically like see the future, you basically will tell your worst enemy the prophecy of their future, just to basically ensure that they'll literally destroy themselves trying to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kronos, one day your children are going to overthrow you. What are you going to do about that? Oh, it's simple. I'm going to eat them.
Oh,
Yeah, that didn't work out well for him. The worst kind of indigestion in all the ages.
Hey, Zeus, as it turns out, a child that you're going to have with your wife, yeah, they're going to basically grow up and they're going to overthrow you and take over Olympus. What do you plan to do about that? Oh, it's simple. I'll eat my wife. What is it with the Greeks and eating other people?
I have no idea.
No idea either. Well, like I said, the worst kind of indigestion in the ages.
Nah, actually, she's still there as far as we're concerned.
It's just that our children came out anyway.
No, actually, only one of them did. You see, the prophecy said that she would give birth to 2 children. A girl who would be the prized gem of Olympus and Zeus's pride and joy, and a son who would raise Olympus to the ground. And after Zeus swallowed her, suddenly, that's when Athena pops out of his head.
Okay.
Greeks are weird.
Yeah.
Given how the goddess of love apparently came to be, that's understandable.
And all the guys who know the story just immediately crossed their legs. Man, now you guys have got me thinking about Greek mythology. I can't help but feel bad for Hephaestus, because Hephaestus, he's basically the Squidward of Mount Olympus, as in, he's not arrogant, he's not haughty or abrasive like Squidward. He's just the one guy on Mount Olympus that everybody treats badly. Because, I mean, there are like a few myths. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, House is like kind of getting in the way as I was cleaning up the computer base.
There are a few myths surrounding where Hephaestus came from. My personal favorite is the idea that Hera apparently got so jealous of Zeus because Athena literally popped out of his head. She basically interpreted that as Zeus can create a child all by himself. Well, 2 can play at that game. So she literally creates Hephaestus all on her own. But because she, couldn't do it properly, he came out looking all deformed and whatnot. She basically, didn't like him. She thought he was ugly. She literally throws him right off the mountain. Like, the moment that he's born, his mother rejects him for being ugly and throws him off of a mountain. And then, I can't remember who raised him. Someone nicer than Hera, but I mean, it's not really saying much. All you'd have to be is a relatively decent human being in order to be nicer than Hera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, my husband cheated on me again. Well, time to go kill that person, and then pretend that this doesn't happen until the next time it did.
Yep. And so Hephaestus grows up, he becomes a really good master craftsman, so one day he basically goes up to Mount Olympus and says he wants an audience with the gods because he has a gift for Hera. He has built her a beautiful gleaming golden throne for her to sit in, and so, accepting his gift, she sits in the throne and then finds out that she can't move. The throne was actually cursed, and now she is immobilized. Hephaestus basically reveals his identity, that I am the son that you rejected all those years ago, and now I have come back, and I want to be acknowledged as an Olympian. And so basically Hera can't get up out of the chair until basically Hephaestus's demands are met, and Zeus is actually quite amused by all of this because...
In other words, karma!
Pretty much, yeah. And so one of the things that Hephaestus wants is that he wants to be married to the beautiful Aphrodite, and Zeus, of course, acquiesces. Now, I personally don't know, like, depictions of Hephaestus. If he is ugly, if he is deformed, I think that he's just kind of rugged and brutish. He's the kind of man that has a really large beard, and probably basically not exactly what you would think as being a suave kind of guy, but I imagine that on some level he might actually be a good husband. And he is a hard worker, but Aphrodite just really didn't like him all that much. Even though basically, like, they get married and whatnot. So, what ends up happening is that literally Aphrodite ends up having an affair with Ares, Hephaestus's brother. That's gotta sting, you know? I mean, you get rejected by your mom as an infant, you come back, you basically trick your mom by basically having her fall into a trap that was supposed to feed her own ego. You get married to the most beautiful goddess on the mountain, but she ends up cucking you behind your back with your own brother. The
Ouch.
brother that your mom actually prefers more than you. Yep. But it gets even worse because despite the fact that Hephaestus has caught Aphrodite and Ares in the act several times and has tried to humiliate them in front of the rest of the Olympians, the other Olympians actually don't care. In fact, they actually find it more amusing that basically, like, that Aphrodite is two-timing Hephaestus, and, well, let's just say that Hephaestus really has no friends on Mount Olympus, so he keeps to himself down in the forges, working with the Cyclopses or whatnot. I'd say that actually Hephaestus does, in fact, have one friend, and ironically, this friend might actually be the reason why he exists. Athena. Yep. You see, Athena, being the goddess of war and battle strategy, she actually appreciates Hephaestus's handiwork and being able to craft master weapons and whatnot, and good armor, so she tends to actually be nice to him. She goes down and visits him in the forge, they talk about things, he basically makes weapons and armor for her. They were on really good terms. Unfortunately, in the Greek world of the Olympian gods, nothing good ever actually lasts forever, because Athena has a really intense rivalry with another god by the name of Poseidon, the god of the sea, because apparently they were both basically like up in a competition as to who would be patron god of a city that would eventually become Athens. They basically competed with each other as to who would be the city's patron god, and the people chose Athena. So from then on, from that moment on, Athena has basically been on Poseidon's hit list. So, the worst part about this story is that Hephaestus has to get drawn into it, because Poseidon realizes that Athena and Hephaestus have, like, this really good friendship going on, so what can I possibly do to ruin it? What kind of wrench can I throw in between them so that Athena loses this... so that Athena is no longer friends with this guy? Poor Hephaestus. He ends up Poseidon goes to Hephaestus and manages to convince him that Athena has actually fallen in love with him. Yeah. The problem with that is that Athena is one of the virgin goddesses. As in, she basically has made the claim that she will never take a husband, she will never have children. That kind of stuff is completely beyond her. Yeah, she's a working girl. The problem is, Hephaestus, the poor guy is just so damn lonely and feels so slighted and rejected by his wife that he doesn't even think twice about what Poseidon is telling him, or the fact that it's Poseidon telling him this, and immediately believes him. And the poor guy. When Athena comes to the forge to visit Hephaestus, he's already prepared to make the moves on her. He's basically got a bouquet of flowers, he takes her into his arm, he tries to kiss her, and apparently she punches him hard enough to make him spit up blood onto the floor. And here's the worst part about it is, from that blood on the floor, some kind of demigod creature emerges out of it, and that creature is technically considered to be the son of Athena and Hephaestus. So that's just... Hephaestus' life sucks, doesn't it?
Poor Hephaestus!
Mm-hmm.
From the very moment he was born, he became the butt end of all the Greeks' like bad rivalries and jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the creature's name. The worst part about it is the fact that Hephaestus really didn't mean any harm. He just was dumb enough to believe that Athena wanted him, and that's just sad. So,
did anyone ever find out that it was Poseidon's doing?
I don't know. I think that. Okay, so the child's name was Erectonius. That's Erochthonius. Erochthonius, if that's how you pronounce it.
I was gonna say, please tell me you got the name slightly off there, because I can tell you one thing is that after getting punched in the face, there's a good chance that Hephaestus was certainly not Erectimus.
I don't think that anybody ever actually finds out that this was Poseidon trying to throw a wrench in between them just to screw with Athena. And I mean, I think that's honestly the worst part, the fact that Hephaestus wasn't even the target of this little attack. He was basically just collateral damage, an innocent bystander in all this, who was just so desperate for love and validation that he was willing to believe that anyone...
Just as a small reminder, Hades is usually depicted as being the Satan of the Greek pantheon by Hollywood.
Yeah, that's completely inaccurate. Literally speaking, that's what's so fascinating about the Greek pantheon, because when you get down to it, you realize they're all the Satan of the pantheon. Like, there's not, like, one decent character amongst them. Although, Hephaestus
we got kind of close with Hades.
I'm not sure that we actually did. I mean, Hades, basically, I think... Hades pretty much got screwed, too. Like, literally speaking, you're the oldest born son of Kronos. By definition, once Kronos is usurped, you're the one who deserves your place at the top of the mountain. And yet you end up literally doing the tedious, most menial job in the entire friggin' universe, looking after the dead. Meanwhile, your youngest brother, Zeus, he is living his best life on Mount Olympus. And you literally have to go to him for permission to do anything. Like marry your own niece.
Well, at least he treats her well, and as far as I know, never cheated on her.
Exactly.
Like I said,
so friggin' ironic, the fact that out of all of the Greek gods, Persephone and Hades have the healthiest relationship.
Yep.
They even have a pet doggo.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for friggin' Demeter, they actually their bond would probably be the strongest.
Exactly, but no, of course, once again, Zeus' shenanigans ruined another god's life, and in this case, it's Demeter.
Yep.
But hey, at least that's how we got the 4 seasons, according to the Greeks. Alright.
Where'd my phone go? I just heard it vibrate, but where'd it go? Don't you just hate it when you grab your phone charging cable, but then you realize that your phone isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I really hope I didn't accidentally knock it into the trash can. But I find it so funny because when I first learned about the story of Persephone and Hades back when I was in school, I feel like they sort of conveniently left out the part where Persephone actually does grow to care about Hades. And I feel like they did that sort of intentionally, considering that they basically framed the story like it's just this horrible tragedy of Persephone being kidnapped by Hades and being forced into a marriage against her will.
Oh, Patrick's talking. Whoa, it's the wall superhero gadgetry. Look, SpongeBob, the bubble wand of doom, the tartar gun, and there's even the paddle ball of fury.
The paddle ball of fury? Yep, there's the aqua glove.
Imagine having the skill set to use that. There we go. Oh, there's a squid ink bomb. I know a certain group of inklings are going to have a field day with this one.
Woomy?
Whoa!
Yeah. Speaking of which, okay. Strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate mint? Go.
I'll take strawberry vanilla.
Well, I'll take
You can
vanilla.
only pick one.
I thought you said strawberry vanilla or chocolate mint.
Strawberry or vanilla or chocolate mint.
All
That's
right.
what I meant.
Well, I'll still take strawberry.
Okay, for me, I can't decide because those are the ice cream themes that they picked for the Splatfest coming next weekend.
Well, go with vanilla. Just go with any flavor that's not chocolate mint, because seriously, chocolate mint is seriously
I like
overrated.
chocolate mint.
It's overrated.
Well, I know. Well, time for Splat War.
Looks like I'm going on to D20 and rolling a D3.
Woo!
Do I even...
What?
Is that... Oh my god.
What?
It's Mermaid Man's bra.
Yep.
I'm tired of playing second banana to a man who wears a bra. If you won't give me respect as a hero, then maybe you'll give me respect as a villain. A villain who is evil. Evil? Evil? Evil! You gotta wait for the slap first. Evil! I'm crossing over to the dark side. Why should I waste money like the whole store?
No, Kylo Ren. I mean, no, Barnacle Boy. No.
Nope. Found a lunchbox.
I mean, wait, that's the tickle belt! That's the tickle belt!
Alrighty, I got the machine all here, all cleaned up.
Ah, the belt is gone, but I still feel its tickle. The urge to do bad is gone. I guess I'll just open a checking account. That is actually kind of terrifying. The fact that literally SpongeBob and Patrick literally classically conditioned Man Ray into basically not doing good. Mermaid Man's belt! see if you can interact with it, because if you can actually turn the M upside down, I will freak out.
Let me get a ladder, because it's pretty high up.
Because right now the belt is set to M for mini, when it should be set to W for Wumbo.
Okay. Here we go.
Damn, I can't believe Patrick just did Aquaman like that.
Nope.
Or Mermaid Man.
Can't do that.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know.
Really? It'll be the simplest thing, but it will be so funny. Set it to Wumbo. You see, I Wumbo, you Wumbo, he, she, me, Wumbo, Wumbo, Wumboing. I wonder if a fall from the site would be enough to kill me.
Okay. Well, time to bring on the extra long attachment. Found his slippers!
Man, I cannot believe how much I actually remember from SpongeBob.
Happier than a clam, Link?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I guess we basically needed some levity after talking about how much Festus's life sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't help but feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
Although part of me basically kind of thinks, like, you really didn't find anything suspicious about this.
I've heard of being single, desperate, and lonely, but that's ridiculous.
Still, can't believe that the conch shell isn't on display somewhere in here. The conch signal! Come, young ward! In fact, they should also include the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy breakfast biters, and maybe even the box of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy brand cereal.
Well, the best we got, of course, is the lunchbox.
Oh man, what they should totally include would be the life-size Krabby Patty mannequins that SpongeBob made of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Spring Boob Squire Pin. Hey, Spring Boob Squire Pin stole my idea. It seems I've made a slight error in pronunciation. The real winner is SpongeBob SquarePants! Yeah! The entire pineapple does a backflip.
Cartoon logic.
Oh, Gary, I wonder when my prize is going to get here. My prize!
Oh, I found Barnacle Boy's hat. And didn't SpongeBob actually beat the Dirty Bubble with just simply asking for an autograph?
Yep. You don't understand. You're my most favorite supervillain. Can I have your autograph? Shing. Oh no, you fool. Well, the point. Get back. Watch the point. You saved us, son. Yeah, you're a hero. I am? Are we up for another ride in the invisible Barkmobile? Hooray!
And then they drove him to prison because he also just committed murder. It's now an anti-hero.
I can just basically imagine SpongeBob being depicted behind closed bars, and then like the whole edgy music starts to play.
The Punisher, but he has SpongeBob's personality.
That would probably be legitimately terrifying. F is for frag grenades that blow things up. U is for uranium powered rounds. Man, all this time, I can't believe we're only at 66%.
Yep, this was a big one. I had a feeling we weren't going to get to that plane afterwards.
Yep, but still filled with a whole lot of references.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy lost episode.
What happened during that lost episode anyway?
I don't know, because right now I'm confused as to whether or not there actually is a lost Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode, because I know that there was a lost episode that SpongeBob had a lost episode, but that was his own show.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there was like a special episode that revealed the origin story of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened in that one?
Well, basically, the plot of the movie is that SpongeBob and Patrick are getting ready to watch the cartoon being aired on the TV, at which point I think something untoward happens that has them both end up either at Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's lair, or somehow makes Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man end up at SpongeBob's house. Either way, the two groups come together, at which point Mermaid Man actually recalls the events of how he became an underwater superhero and how he met Barnacle Boy. And of course, Barnacle Boy gives his own take on it, basically implying that, yeah, this crazy old coot basically ruined my life and now I was stuck underwater. So, the whole idea behind it is that they're both giving their own kind of like takes on what happened, and then the final few minutes of the episode has the actual cartoon showing, which basically kind of makes fun of the whole idea of superhero origin stories, because literally speaking, a whole bunch of coincidences happen that literally send the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy exposing them to literally all kinds of superhero origin story cliches that basically has them flung completely across the city until they conveniently and safely land back at their own apartment, at which point what turns them into superheroes is the fact that they both eat slightly overdone popcorn.
What?
Yeah.
So, all of this was over popcorn.
Yep. And I would like to basically point out that the shenanigans that I basically kind of skimmed over, they include getting bitten by a radioactive ant, getting struck by lightning, literally being caught in the air by a magical subterranean crystal with wings exposed to some kind of magic crystal radiation. What ends up turning them into superheroes is the popcorn.
Naturally.
Although there is one amusing thing about the episode, the fact that before they become Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, they're hanging out in their apartment together, and basically, they actually give their civilian names. Barnacle Boy calls into the kitchen, "Hurry up with the popcorn, Ernie," and then Mermaid Man replies with, "Just a second, Tim." This is actually a reference to their voice actors. Ernest Borgnine does the voice of Mermaid Man, and I think Tim... What was Tim's last name? Let's see.
Ah, yes, the Dark Lord. Tim.
There are those who call me Tim Conway. So, yeah, that was kind of a nice little reference, the fact that their civilian names are basically the same names as their voice actors. And now they're both dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whew, guaranteed at the end of all this, I'm definitely going to be getting a lot of pocket change for some new stuff for the PowerWash.
Definitely. I wonder how they can afford all this.
Well, you see, one of their underused powers, materialization.
Or maybe they secretly have a, shellback counterfeit printing machine in their basement.
Or maybe they just take all the money the bad guys have and just keep it for themselves. Maybe,
like every single time the bad guys rob a bank, it's like, oh, thank you, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, but what happened to all the money? We have to take it back to the Mermalair to make sure that the villains didn't tamper with it, didn't irradiate the bills, didn't booby trap it, and anything, stuff like that.
Is it weird to say that I actually kind of believe that? But yeah, no. But in all honesty, they probably got a lot of reward money and it kind of like built up over time in their bank accounts.
Oh, I figured when you said that, it's less that there was a little excuse. No, Mermaid Man legitimately believed that they were potentially sabotaging the money, and the Barnacle Boy actually spends the money.
Yeah, Barnacle Boy. Mermaid Man, he's just a senile old coot. Barnacle Boy's taking advantage of his dementia as he embezzles the money. But no, here's where they really get their money from. The fact that they've got the TV show, they've got all the merchandise, they get money from the royalties on that crap.
Yep.
Figured.
So that's how they're able to afford all this stuff. It's one of the things that you kind of forget about, the fact that because they're actual legitimate superheroes, that you kind of forget the fact that they have merchandise, they have the TV show.
Yeah, people have to pay them royalties and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But in the cartoon show it makes sense, it's more fun, but when it comes to stuff that takes itself a little bit more seriously, that I get to questioning things, like how in the Thor movie they had a whole ice cream store called Infinity Cones.
Infinity Cones? Where is that? Is that in the background?
I'm not sure. I think it was part of a good shop. I'm not sure if any scene specifically takes place. Ow!
Oh, sorry.
How rude. Or to quote Frieza, how rude! How rude!
I didn't mean to. I was trying to clean up the pipe.
Oh my god, it even has Thanos' gauntlet.
Yeah. When you consider the historical events and the ramifications of stuff, it does feel kind of messed up, though, to make an ice cream shop based up around that.
That's seriously messed up. I mean, it would basically be like if you opened up a delicatessen and you had Hitler as your mascot.
And then have the logo be one of the concentration camps.
I mean, and this is in New Asgard. I mean,
yeah.
I guess
the
that's
place that would definitely got messed up the most by Thanos, considering everything.
Actually, no. I think that basically the reason that they did this is because they didn't get as messed up as Thanos, because apparently that's proof positive that he exercises restraint. Because apparently he wiped out only half of them when he invaded the ship that was fleeing Asgard. God forbid there was only about 200 people that were left fleeing from Asgard. It's not like he could have just left them all alone. And yet he couldn't have basically gotten rid of Valkyrie, Korg, or Meek. Nah, let's keep Meek. Meek is actually fine. In fact, Meek is actually supposed to be the one who's supposed to start the whole World War Hulk thing, because he believes in the legend of the Planet Buster.
Oh boy.
I cannot believe it. I mean, That was honestly one of my biggest disappointments, the fact that Thor Ragnarok, because it's basically them trying to also do a Planet Hulk movie, which means we're not going to get a proper Planet Hulk movie, means we're not going to get a proper World War Hulk movie, but let's face it, as long as friggin' Mark Ruffalo was attached to the character, we were never going to get a decent Hulk any kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
We certainly didn't get a decent Hulk shift TV show.
Why couldn't basically they have just let Edward Norton come back and, like, just kept the deal with Universal?
The thing I found probably the most funny about the whole thing with the Hulk, if I had to be completely honest, mainly in regard to the TV show She-Hulk, is primarily how the first episode, they talk about how serious Jen is about her work and how she hates being catcalled. Literally every episode has her lusting after trying to get a men who care about her normal form as opposed to She-Hulk, and being rather, part of my language here, crap at being an actual lawyer.
Yep. I find it so hilarious that she thinks that basically, like, the average things that a woman goes through in their daily lives somehow is evidence of her life constantly being at risk, as opposed to her cousin, who literally spent 10, if not more, years on the run from the U.S. government because they wanted to dissect him and replicate his superpowers and probably kill him for knowing about the information, for basically, like, knowing about this information and trying to keep it from them.
And that's like, the good. And that was the good 10 years he had.
The people who wrote that show, they
need to be fired.
Need to be fired and blacklisted. That's honestly the biggest problem that I've had with the MCU. Like, even from the very beginning, you could get the sense that they did not care about the continuity between the movies. Because it's like, yeah, sure, you get a sense that movies and events carry over from one to the next, but a lot of the character development, a lot of what the characters personally go through, that kind of stuff is literally just undone and forgotten about. And so they don't really care about what happens in between these movies. Case in point, literally from the get-go, Iron Man versus Iron Man 2. Literally speaking, like, that entire Iron Man 1 movie is about Tony learning a moral lesson about responsibility, about how his reckless playboy lifestyle basically has left vulnerabilities in his company that he wasn't taking seriously, and now a lot of innocent people were getting hurt because of the things that he was doing. Next thing you know, the second movie, he's literally right back to doing those irresponsible things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we have a bunch of, go on.
Yeah, it's sad when the video games do a lot better with their stories than the frickin' movies themselves.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Tony and his fear of Casper, the unfriendly ghost who lives in his room.
Which is honestly kind of, like, messed up when you think about it, because, like, the whole thing with Jarvis, the AI computer voice that basically acts as Tony's butler in the movies, well, that was a reference to Jarvis from the comics, who actually was Tony Stark's butler. However, in Endgame, message from Spongebob.
So here he is, the sauce of all evil, the dirty bubble trapped in the brine of justice.
The sauce of all evil.
You thought you were salty, but not salty enough, my filthy friend.
I could just hear SpongeBob saying that with his quasi-French accent. You thought you were pretty salty, but not salty enough, my filthy friend. But anyways, in Endgame, there's a moment where they travel back in time to, I think, the 1970s, where Tony has a run-in with his father as a younger man, and at the end of that little confrontation, we basically hear Howard Stark, Tony's father, talking to his valet, who is named Jarvis. So that's the actual Jarvis there. And I think he's also played by Paul Bettany, and maybe, I can't remember. So the whole idea about it is that Tony basically based this AI program off of his actual butler, who must have died at some point during Tony's, I guess, young adulthood. So in a sense, he's effectively kind of keeping this guy around as a ghost in order to be his servant. Isn't that kind of messed up?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he puts him into an android body.
And that causes all sorts of issues down the line with him getting into a relationship with Wanda.
I gotta admit, Age of Ultron was pretty much the point where I really kind of fell off the movies, because I feel like I got into these movies because they were taking the fantastic concepts that were depicted in the comics and trying to depict them in a realistic and serious light. But between Wakanda flying up out of the... between Sokovia literally flying up out of the ground and basically Jarvis getting put into an android, Vision, I feel like this is the point where these movies just really jumped the shark. And it's like, yep, they're under the impression that they can just basically do anything they want and get away with it now, and they can, because these things are just going to keep making money, so might as well just
whale
stop being
shark.
invested. Yeah, whale shark.
Well.
And then the talking raccoon and tree showed up.
Oh, yeah. I actually did see the third Guardians movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I still need to see it. I don't know if I'm actually going to go see it in the theaters, though. I think I might just wait for it to come out on the Plus.
Alright, fair enough.
I mean, I'm already going to waste at least $7 to $8 tomorrow to see something that I know I'm not going to enjoy. And I'm literally doing it out of a sense of an imaginary moral obligation.
Yeah.
AKA your family wants to go see it.
No, my family basically is seeing it, all on their own. Like, my oldest sister and her husband, they saw it. My other sister and her husband, they want to see it. My father, I know that he definitely wants to see it. And every single one of them is telling me how good it is.
Have they not even seen it yet, judging by what you were saying?
No, the oldest one and her husband, they have seen it. And they talked about how good it actually is, because they don't pay attention to the things that I do. They don't see the things that I do. They don't know. They don't know.
Oh boy, they're going to be sorely disappointed by the time they realize what's going on.
If they ever do. They don't really think critically about movies. They think that wasting mental power on that is somehow a waste of time. Which is ironic, considering that I got my sister into Rick and Morty, and she seems to actually enjoy talking with me about episodes that she just sees, because they kind of they make her want to think about them. The problem is, ever since she had the kid, she hasn't actually had time to watch the latest seasons of Rick and Morty. And for some reason, I kind of basically want to keep a fresh mind for when she watches them so that I can watch them.
Well, at least you're doing a good job with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, funny enough, you know what I think is what show probably has created probably the biggest damage to, not show, or what movie probably has inflicted the greatest damage to the MCU going forward, just based off of how it's being used?
Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, actually.
Well, I'm a very cynical person. Personally, I would say something like Endgame or maybe Captain America Civil War. But that's just because I'm a cynical person and I really have a whole lot of problems with those movies. But no, which movie did the most damage?
The movie I think did the most is going to do the most damage is Captain Marvel.
Probably, yep.
Yeah.
Because that's basically the point where the makers of these films literally turned their backs on the fans. Like, basically speaking, like... Well, technically they had done something like that before when they made Black Panther, but I think that on some level Black Panther is okay. Just okay.
And at the very least with Black Panther, they actually had the titular character show up in a different movie before they made him his own movie, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the crazy part about that is that he was doing that while fighting cancer.
Yep.
Sadly, the cancer won.
Here's to you, Chadwick.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that one of the things I hate most about Captain Marvel is that they completely took whatever history and backstory that Nick Fury could have had that would have made him so interesting. Like, what has this super spy been doing the last 20 or 30 years? And basically based on Captain America the Winter Soldier, the backstory of how he lost his eye must have been really fascinating, because he flat out gets in Cap's face and tells him, the last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. So how does he lose his eye in the Captain Marvel movie? A cat scratches him.
Yeah, an alien-possessed cat.
Yep.
Might be just me, but I very much dislike that cat.
Me too.
Like, it's not what I'm referring to in regards to damaging everything, but I despise the cat conceptually.
I despise the fact that, one, the Tesseract is even in that movie, considering that it was supposed to still be at the bottom of the ocean during all this time, and two, the fact that the cat basically swallows it.
Ew.
Yeah. Of course, the main reason why I bring up the most damage is primarily due to what it did with the Skrulls, and what everything else did shortly afterwards with the Skrulls.
I think that the Skrulls is one of the things that just really tick me off the most.
Yep.
If for context, LT, the Skrulls are an alien race that, in the comics, have the ability to basically morph into human form and disguise themselves as pretty much anyone they choose. And in the comics, what they do is, whenever they target a planet for alien invasion, instead of doing some kind of military incursion or occupation, they just instead disguise themselves as the native population of the planet and slowly start putting themselves in positions of power. Before you know it, there's a whole bunch of them disguised as the planet's native population, to the point where gradually more and more there's more of them than there are of the actual native-born species that belong on that planet, until they have literally replaced the entire planet's population.
Wow.
Yep.
It is a very creepy concept.
A very subtle form of invasion.
Exactly. That's
and
why
secret invasion.
That's why they called it the Secret Invasion. In fact, like, in the comics, when it came down to, like, the Secret Invasion, we basically found out that several of our heroes had been replaced by Skrulls the entire time. So...
Okay, that's a scary thought right there.
Very scary. So, now the thing about the Skrulls is that they're basically, in the comics, they're constantly at war with another alien race called the Kree. The Kree were basically, like, first introduced in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie because Ronan the Accuser is basically kind of like a Kree fanatic who's waging war on the planet Xandar, but that's a whole can of worms. The Kree are also apparently the villains of the Captain Marvel movie, because Captain Marvel herself is basically abducted by the Kree, given superpowers, and basically turned into a Skrull-hating, Skrull-killing, Skrull-hunting badass who basically lands on Earth and tries to basically find and kill whatever Skrulls are basically like hiding out in human form, only to find out that no, she had it wrong. The Skrulls aren't the bad guys, the Kree are. These Skrulls are nothing more than refugees trying to flee from the genocidal Kree who are trying to wipe out their entire population.
What?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that the people who made this movie, they didn't want certain parallels to be made to real-world politics when it comes to who and what the Skrulls actually are and what they actually do. Because that kind of stuff actually is a serious problem. But anyways, I just find it weird that after all these years, suddenly Disney Plus, they have a brand new series out that actually is called Secret Invasion. It's called Secret Invasion, right?
Yep.
And, well, it seems to be that they're finally addressing the fact that the Skrulls are actually all about this. Except I have a feeling that they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, in a kind of sense.
Well, their whole so to give what I know is that the producers beforehand said that this is going to be a very gray series where there are no inherent good guys or bad guys. It's all relatively gray.
Oh, of course.
By the
Now,
way,
where's the
what was
punchline?
that you cracked open?
Oh, that...
A cold one, I assume.
That was nothing more than a delicious can of product name and description withheld.
Oh, nice! I love Project. His name withheld.
Okay.
But yeah, so the basic gist of it is that that slightly retconning the ending of the Captain Marvel show, or not show, the movie. See, because in the movie they specifically show off the Skrull specifically leaving with Captain Marvel to go find a home planet.
Yep.
So apparently, Carol Danvers, despite this being part of her mission, her vow, and she gave a pager in case Fury would need her, decided, actually, you know what, Fury, there's a bunch of other stuff going on. Here, have the scroll for a bit. I'm just going to go do stuff. Will you still look for a planet? Bye. And so she leaves. Or whatnot. And Fury pretty much makes the promise of, you guys help me protect the planet, and we will help you guys find your own planet. And so they become Fury's hidden network of spies, which one particular guy who I guess is the closest scroll to Fury, pretty much say that, oh yeah, but word for us, you would have never gotten promoted as far up into S.H.I.E.L.D. as you did.
Oh my god. Wasn't he already, like, director level at the end of the Captain Marvel movie?
Not sure. Sure. At the very least, I know he wasn't at the tippity top yet in the Marvel movie. I think he was still an agent, but still, they take all of Fury's hard work and say it was aliens.
Yep. I think that's part of the reason why people didn't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. They don't like the idea that all this hard work that was done by humans is being attributed to aliens. But
yep.
They believe that a lot of those monuments were made by aliens before the movie, so what's the big fat freaking deal?
I know.
Yeah.
Stonehenge,
anyway.
aliens. Machu Picchu, aliens.
Yeah. So naturally, Fury is often credited as being old, useless by several people, most of which being his allies. But the bad guy Skrulls have this general feeling too, and the main thing is more or less just trying to stop the evil Skrulls from their what Fury considered to be their diabolical plan.
Oh,
now we go.
Fury considers to be,
Yeah. So naturally, we go on to the our antagonist, as I suppose the director would put it. Because as a reminder, there are no good guys, bad guys here. There's a particular gray thing. The hero or the Skrull character, Gravik, his main motivation is specifically because Fury broke a promise to them that in the time he's spent working for Fury since Captain Marvel movie, back when he was a child, and he certainly acts like one, but that's besides the point, they have yet to find a planet for them to live on. This advanced alien society that had come to Earth via their own alien ships and had one prepared are angry that humanity, with their, our technology, have not been able to find them a planet. And so the Skrull enact their plans of nuclear holocaust, making humanity kill itself, because the Skrulls are apparently immune to nuclear radiation, so they can take over the planet. And multiple times it's brought up how racist and how violent and whatnot humanity are from the Skrulls. Are we sure they aren't the bad guys?
I'm at a loss for words. I am legit at a loss for words.
Yeah,
look,
and I've been dead silent
Look, I know
this whole
aliens
time
are usually
because...
referred to as gray, but that does not mean that this is a completely gray show.
I think
the Skrulls are green.
I think the worst part about it is that it's clear that since the Skrull are being used as nothing more than a mouthpiece for the show's creators, that they somehow want to make the idea that, oh, it's okay if we basically, if these characters are all bent on destroying humanity, because I think on some level we all agree that humanity deserves it, right? So therefore, wanting to destroy all of mankind doesn't make these aliens the bad guys. They just basically want to stop all the injustices that mankind is guilty of.
Yeah, those are people that definitely should stay far away out of politics.
Unfortunately, these are the kind of people that literally have a ticket to get in.
Yeah.
Just like how Bob Iger wants to basically run for the DOJ once he basically is done with Disney. In fact, he actually tried doing it when they had Chapek involved, but, oh wait, Chapek is a free thinker. Oh, get rid of him, bring Iger back. Abort, abort, abort.
Yep.
Anyways, I think, but the whole thing with the Skrulls is that you basically get a really bad sense, a really uncomfortable sense with them, because it's back in Captain America the Winter Soldier, everybody thinks that Nick Fury is dead through most of the movie, and he actually wants to keep it that way by the end of the movie so that he can disappear and go into hiding. Although basically it kind of becomes a point of sort of, I guess, public knowledge during the Age of Ultron incident, when he basically is clearly there helping out the Avengers, that yeah, Nick Fury is still alive, but the point is that where exactly does Nick Fury go after he's basically faked his own death and basically wants to go into hiding? Well, as it turns out, he goes into outer space. Yep. He goes up into outer space on a Skrull ship and basically spends most of his time lounging in front of some kind of holodeck, what basically has a holographic screen of being on some kind of tropical beach or whatever, basically just enjoying a vacation. Meanwhile, during the events of Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury, who's supposed to be there helping Spider-Man and basically keeping track of this interdimensional being that showed up out of nowhere, a guy by the name of Mysterio, trying to basically stop all these elemental monsters from destroying everything. That Nick Fury, as it turns out, is actually a Skrull in disguise, basically working as Nick Fury's proxy.
Yep.
And Fury is just basically okay with this. In fact, it even comes off like it's his idea. Honestly, I think that basically the MCU just sort of lacks vision, because you realize how sinister this would all be if Fury had no idea this was going on. If literally he was up on that spaceship because he's supposed to be dead, so he's in hiding and wants to enjoy his retirement, only to basically find out that there's an alien down there masquerading as him, and now they won't let him go back to Earth. They're effectively keeping him hostage up on that spaceship.
It would be a lot more interesting. That would be simple. The fact they're trying to, have their cake eaten too in regards to Skrulls is, disconcerting.
Exactly. And here's even the weirdest part about it. The idea that Nick Fury has been replaced by a Skrull seems to be common knowledge in the Marvel Universe, because literally Spider-Man No Way Home, which literally starts out mere moments after the events of Far From Home, literally features the cop, agent, or whoever the guy, interrogating Peter Parker in the interrogation cell, and Peter's like saying, "Look, just talk to Nick Fury. He'll back up everything that I'm saying." This guy literally tells Peter Nick Fury has been off planet for more than a year. So it's like, okay, what does that mean? Does it mean that everybody is aware that Nick Fury is up in space and a Skrull is pretending to be him? Or does it mean that this guy is actually a Skrull and they're starting to put themselves in positions of power where they can basically do whatever the heck they want? Because one of them sounds a bit more interesting than the other.
Yeah, it doesn't help that in the Secret Invasion show, there's already several, they show that several of the leaders of the nations are actually presently Skrulls, and it's uncertain whether or not if they, A, reach the position naturally, or B, and I think there's more evidence towards this one, they simply replace the actual leaders with Skrulls.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of their MO. It's what they do.
Yeah.
But it is what you do.
Yeah. I just find it funny because, it's a Skrull supremacist that's planning all this stuff, and the other Skrulls are like, oh yeah, we've been in charge of these nations and whatnot, but you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Here, because apparently none of them realize that if they just have humanity nuke themselves, that also is going to destroy the planet. So you know what I think of all this? The Kree were right.
I mean, who knows? Maybe basically it's a good thing that Xandar was destroyed by Thanos.
Yeah. I feel a lot. Yeah. Like I said even back then, with the fact that they made the Skrull into sympathetic refugees, they couldn't make them into the villain without creating all these problems. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too, but that doesn't avoid the problems, especially with how the characters are ultimately currently depicted. And what the frick are these things?
I find it incredibly just completely tone deaf that this series basically wants to lecture humanity about how racist and intolerant it is, and yet the villain is literally a Skrull supremacist
whose plan is to nuke the planet, whose plan is not only genocide, but also by anyone with a brain, going to kill a lot more than just human beings. It'll kill the ozone layer, it'll kill trees, it'll kill animals. The guy plans to succeed. He literally makes everything worse for everyone. And that is in the best case scenario. And they're saying, oh yeah, the show is gray. No, it isn't. And the fact that we have, good guys Skrulls that are supposed to be on the good side, considering, or it's supposed to be at least not nearly as fanatic, considering the plan and enough to be decent, shows how stupid they are in regard to how nuclear weapons affect nature, as well as just in general, just how much they don't care for human life.
Yep.
Okay, all is left.
I think it's on this wall.
I mean, it's just very, very sad because friggin' 10 years ago you could have looked at the MCU and saw it was brimming with limitless potential. And then Iron Man 3 happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Oh, there we go. Finally got it done.
Yay! And yet, the live stream is incredibly behind you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been at it for like 2 hours, so...
Perfect, we're right on time.
Yep.
Yep.
Man, look at you go.
Yay, everything's
Get
back
ready
to...
for the 10-second tidy.
Yeah. Yay, everything's back to normal. Bikini Bottom Sandy singing, Plankton's plotting, and Mermaid Man's mobilizing. Who knows when the dirty bubbles serve? Who knows, mate? When the dirty bubbles serve this time, maybe he will become a clean little bubble, wafting happily through around the place. We can't thank you enough for helping us clean up our little mystery. Without you, we'd still be knee-high in grime and crime. Anyways, gotta dash. We're throwing a surprise party for Squidward to say sorry for all the mess we made. We invited the whole town. Squidward's gonna love it. Oh, God. Goodbye, friend, and thanks again. Okay.
Poor Squidward. Although the idea of the dirty bubble becoming a clean bubble, they actually did an episode on that. Yep. He becomes a clean bubble. They give him a job as the dishwasher at the Krusty Krab, so he cleans the dishes, but as he cleans the dishes, he slowly starts to absorb all the grime again. So it's like a vicious cycle. Every single time you clean him, it's inevitable that he's going to get dirty again.
And to celebrate, let's get the extra long extension. All that is to get $600 more for the soap nozzle, which I have a feeling is going to be easy. Because next time, look at that! An $800 job with the private jet.
And it's by our good old friend, David Thrust.
Blake Thrust.
Oh, Blake Thrust. Darn it.
Yeah. So yeah, despite all the topics, I say we had a pretty fun stream.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to thank Chaos here for helping me clean up all the Bikini Bottom together.
God knows it would take so much longer if it was just you by yourself.
I know.
Definitely.
I'd like to thank Link for all of his commentary on various media, mythologies, movies, and of course SpongeBob.
We had a little alliteration thing going on there.
I know. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching. And if you like what you see, don't be shy to like and subscribe. And remember, the real magic you have is your imagination. And a very...
And Hephaestus' love life. That certainly is imagination.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. As well as a very clean superhero lair. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.